What is up, YouTube? It is post-test week, and this was one of the best weeks of training I've had so far. After failing the 46-foot goal by 5 inches at 45.7, I decided that there was a few things I really wanted to work on. One of them was landings, and so as you see, we were working on shooting the feet late. And as you can see, I did not know how to shoot the feet late, especially when I put the shirt/band in front of me. Just didn't know how to actually do that. On top of that, the main goals that we are trying to do is make me more reactive, so working on RSI in particular, and then on top of that, we are really slow, so we want to get faster. You'll see throughout the week, I did lots of builds of flying 10s, lots of tempos, lots of just running in general. This is the most sprinting I've ever done in my whole athletic career, even when I was playing football and running post, goes, 40-yard routes. You only do that for about an hour every week, and then during the week, you're not really running as much as you think. On a track, trying to get better at triple jump, when you're really slow, all you end up doing is sprinting and jumping, and then occasionally you go into the weight room to try and lift something heavy a few times or stay healthy. On this day, I was working on pushing myself high. You'll see the rest of this video. My form is pretty dog shit. My favorite thing about the next video, since I'm actually 2 or 3 weeks ahead of this as I'm doing the voiceover, is my form completely changes. This was a Monday, and Mondays we do the primary triple jump day, where I'm basically just trying to PR from a certain amount of steps. And as you can see, I'm barely even getting full jumps because the goal is 46. I'm not even getting close to 46. And anytime I do, I typically scratch. You'll see that's a good drop leg. Look how horrendous my second phase is. After this day in particular, that's when we knew there was something wrong in my jump, and we really wanted to work on it. So I basically just spent all night at my overnight shift just watching and watching and watching, just like people's triple jumps versus mine. Triple jumps that were not my style of triple jumps, or triple jumps with people with a similar style. And there was a few things that I did notice. One of the first things I noticed, sorry, I'm tired. One of the first things I noticed is in my second phase, if you look at my back leg, it's extended back really far. It's not at a 90 degree getting closer to my body. Same thing with my front foot. It's not in a 90 degree, it's super extended. I'm basically doing the splits in the air on my second phase. So we're going to try and do some bounce to counteract that. And I also just was like, maybe we need to cue that on my technique day, is to ball up or flex to try and get those 90 before I contact the ground, and maybe it'll help me be more upright, etc. I wasn't sure what it did, but I saw everyone doing it, and I was like, that's got to help. I later found out from my buddy JT, who I was talking to the very next week, about how to actually be active and hit the ground the right way, and I literally PR'd that following training day, so that was cool. On this day, we're getting some bench in. I think this might be my heaviest or second heaviest set. It's a top set of 205. And if this gym looks different, it's because I was back in my hometown of Springtown, and they opened up this new gym that has 24-hour access even with the day pass. So I had to make sure I did that. This was 11 p.m. after a full day of letting everyone see my little girl, and then me and my partner came over here to get a good little workout in while my mom got to watch her granddaughter for the first time alone. It was a good trip back home. I really enjoyed it, and this gym it's really fucking sick. This was probably the hardest part of the workout. Is I had some push press, and this was 180 pounds for AMRAP, which my PR before was 3. I think I got 4, and when I was going for 5, I could just tell I wasn't gonna get it. So I racked it and just got the 1 rep PR. Kind of a crazy 1 rep PR because I haven't actually done much push press lately. I've been doing a lot more cool leg and sprints and plyos focus work. Not as much upper body in my training. There's one day where I do 3 things for my upper body that is heavyweight. The rest of the time I'm doing lots of core. And my leg days, I actually have a little bit more to do as well. I was really worried about not being able to get my training in the way I wanted to when I was back home. But with the help of my partner and my mom, I was able to still get the work in, be with my baby the whole time, and see family. It was honestly the best weekend I've had seeing family in a while. If you've ever moved out and go back home, you'll realize going back home is never really the same. Not in the sense that, oh, I don't get along with my family or this. I get along great with my family. My family's great. It's more just like the place that was your home really isn't your home anymore. And life moves on. You're going to show up 2 days out of the whole weekend because you finally had a day off and it was like, oh, I could just go back home. And either you can't hang out with a lot of people or a lot of people can't hang out with you. It just becomes this thing where it's like you got to make the most of the time that you have there. Or you got to plan a week, and even then, people are busy. And you can't expect them to just be there for the sole purpose of seeing you. And I'm just happy that I got to see most of the people that I wanted to see. Not everyone, but key important ones. I got to see my little brother. I didn't get to see my middle brother, my little brother, my second little brother. But I got to see my mom, my grandparents, and my daughter got to spend some time other than at the house or chilling at the park or whatever we do when we're back home. On this day, it was a supplemental or low level, or not low level, but elastic plyos slash legs. I did a 20, a 30, a 40 weighted sled run, and then I did a 20, 30, 40 body weight run. Then I got into my lift. I'm not sure how much this is in particular. If I had to guess, it is 95 possibly, and then this right here, I do know how much it is. This was 315 for 5. Your boy's getting very strong. I thought the weight of my squats were gonna take a dip, but I think I just like undershot how strong I actually am, and now I'm starting to get to where I actually am when it comes to strength. The first time I had squatted on Liam's programming, I think 245 was hard, and then slowly but surely I was just moving and moving weight. And so my working set's 245. It has increased by 50 pounds. My starting set most of the time is 285 to 295. And my top set is anywhere between 295 to 315. And if I'm being honest, those are only RPE 8s, 7.5s to 8.5s on certain days. If I was to go to a 9 RPE for a set of 5, I could probably do 335, 340 possibly. So pretty strong, and I've lost a ton of weight. One thing I've been doing is I've been just trying to make sure I hit my protein, and then in between that, I just try to eat a lot of fiber and carbs. But no matter what, I try to hit my protein, and if I'm not hungry, I genuinely don't try to force down calories. As someone who wants to run faster, jump further in the triple jump, I'm kind of seeing a correlation, not a causation, but a correlation between people not being fat and them jumping far versus people who hold a lot more weight. Not always losing distance in their jump, but the furthest jumpers in the world are typically lean, whether they're short or tall. I can afford to lose quite a bit of weight. When I first started programming, I think I was 189-ish. And before that, I was 194 to 196-ish. I wasn't doing any sprinting back then. I wasn't doing anything besides heavy Olympic lifts and dunking for fun. Now I'm trying to cut down all the way, and I'm around 180 to 183 depending on the day. And really, it's because if I eat all the meals that I prep throughout the week, if I eat everything that I buy, typically I'll sit between 23 and 2600 calories, and sometimes I'm not hungry. So I just won't eat those meals, and if I do eat anything from that meal, it's most likely going to be the protein and the carbs, or the carbs. It just depends. No matter what, I try to eat, I guess I try to shoot for the pound per body weight, or 1.2 grams per pound of body weight in protein. And then as far as carbs, I try to pick carb sources that are also high in fiber, so I still get the right nutrients. It kind of sucks when you eat a super low fiber carb and a super low fiber proteins, and then you're eating technically good, but the macros probably aren't as good as you think, and then you're like constipated as fuck. You can't take a shit. Like Parmesan, or not Parmesan, but low moisture or no fat mozzarella cheese is really good. Don't get me wrong. It's my favorite thing to just, I'll buy a block of it and just eat a whole block sometimes. I'm really bad about it. Well, not anymore, but I used to be. And as much as there's a ton of protein in cheese and dairy. Sometimes there's no fiber or the lactose, the dairy makes you stopped up. So it's good to find things that are good for that. But I'm not sure if you watched the, there's that hold I was talking about. If y'all watch the Garage Strength podcast, he does a interview with Christian Taylor. If you don't know who that is, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, multiple world champion, and the second farthest triple jump ever. He basically just says salad and protein shake diet. It's kind of what I do. In the morning, I do have a good amount of carbs because I just go with Cheerios. But other than that, man, tuna salad or chicken salad, and it's basically just half a pound of the lowest calorie fiber veggies, salad, lettuce, tomatoes, shit like that, cucumbers, and then chicken or tuna or salmon, just whatever meat. And then throughout the day, I just drink a whole thing of Fairlife non-fat or Fairlife chocolate milk, depending on how hard I'm training, because it's basically $5 and you get 3 or 4 total protein shakes. Saves you a lot of money versus buying 3 or 4 Core Power Elite for whatever the cost is. 2 Core Power Elites is $10 for 84 grams of protein. It's $5 for 84 with regular Fairlife. But this video's over. That's the end of my rant. The screen's black, so I should probably be done with the video. But I'm getting faster, working on my form, and I'm basically living like a track star while I'm being a normal person. And I love it. Peace.